Hello and welcome to of those who shape our political and national landscape and how these impact us positively or otherwise. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Today on the show, we talk about Trump bombing targets in Nigeria and terrorists killed. Wike, also on the show, Wike Makinde continue battle over PDP as INEC refuses to recognize your governor's faction. In the course of the program, we take up questions, but first subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop your questions in the comment section. It's important to mention that we can only read comments based on human names and ones based on subject matter. I have joining me via Zoom the maestro himself, Jide Toju. Good to see you. Compliment of the season, Bikil.
Compliment of the season. I say a big thank you to Mr. fans all over the world. Thank you for your support.
Right. Now, over the Christmas period, the United States, in coordination with Nigerian authorities, launched precision strikes against ISWAP, the militants in northwest Nigeria's Sokoto Bauni forest region, a move that both governments say will weaken extremist capability, but which has also prompted public confusion and debate over justification, sovereignty, and long-term effectiveness. How do you assess this action in the fight against terrorism in Nigeria?
I'm very happy that this has happened. I hear a lot of Nigerians say, look, if you cannot defeat these people and they continue to constitute such a big threat to us as a people, why don't you seek help? I've had even former President Olusegun Obasanjo just say that. I've had many Nigerians challenge the government to seek help. If I need to crush an enemy and someone offers to help me do it, and that person will agree that he will not unilaterally take that decision, because all along on the different programs where I've appeared, I have always said that I do not see anything wrong in America coming to help us defeat the bandits and the terrorists in our country. What I would oppose is a unilateral decision to launch strikes in our country. But where both countries agree to work together, it is a good deal for me. It is perfect for me. President Jonathan brought in Chadian troops to help us defeat Boko Haram in Borno State. And those Chadian troops, as well as military contractors that we called mercenaries, came into Nigeria armed with sophisticated weapons. The military contractors, as I like to call them, and not mercenaries, I don't like to call them mercenaries, helped us to achieve tremendous, to do significant damage to Boko Haram, enabling us to conduct elections in those areas. 7 local governments in Adamawa State, 2 local governments in Yobe, and not less than 17 to 20 local governments in Borno State. These areas were held by Boko Haram. They even started conducting their own government after declaring Goza in southern Borno the capital of their own new country, so to say. Chadian troops were deployed to northern Borno, places like Dikwa, and they did a tremendous job. Many of them lost their lives. I still have pictures of Chadian troops who were given state burial in their country. They laid down their lives for Nigeria to be safe, for us to be able to conduct the 2015 elections. Nigerian troops have also gone to keep the peace in several countries of the world, like Angola, like Lebanon, the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon. Even my late uncle was part of the Nigerian soldiers who went to Lebanon to fight. So we have always assisted other countries to create stability, to create calm. So if America comes into our country without putting boots on ground, launching Tomahawk missiles into areas believed to be inhabited by terrorists who are terrorizing our people, I have no reason in the world to go against it, especially when they had conversations with Nigerian authorities. Marco Rubio spoke with our Minister of Foreign Affairs for 19 minutes in the first instance. Later, he spoke with him for 5 minutes, trying to get the government to support their efforts to launch this attack. And Nigerian armed forces provided intelligence for that mission. So when both countries are working together and a country didn't just get up without the permission of another country, without the knowledge of another country to go and launch attack on the enemies of that country, there is no way I can oppose it, especially when I know that the areas that they attacked, that part of Sokoto State, civilians have come under attack so many times. Lakurawa have been consistently causing trouble in parts of Sokoto and Kebbi State. And the Lakurawas, who became very active in Nigeria in 2024 after initially leaving the scene, are known to have links to ISIS because they originate from Mali. So they are known to have links to ISIS. So I overwhelmingly support the strikes launched by the Americans, and I'll be happy to see more of such strikes. There are many Nigerians who are happy because they believe, well, if our government cannot get the job done and somebody has offered to help, there are many ways by which you can help. You can provide equipment, you can provide intelligence, and you can even physically help by providing support for the armed forces of our country. So they've chosen now to launch the attacks. There is no civilian casualty as far as we are concerned, no record of civilian casualties. One of the two attacks took place in Jabo, where the people have discovered unexploded ordnance in a cassava farm. Jabo is not particularly a threat. Jabo is not, banditry is not rampant in Jabo, but bandits are known to have gone to Jabo on a number of occasions to kidnap farmers while they are harvesting their crops. The other place that they attacked is Tangaza, which is along Ilela Road, part of Sokoto North or Sokoto Central. Insecurity is a big problem along that border town in the area because that place is along the border with Niger Republic, and Nigerian troops have a forward operation base in a place called Mashalashi. So in Tangaza and Gudu, Lakurawa have found a home for so long. You know, as I said earlier, they came from Niger Republic, but they are in our country. Initially, the Lakurawas wanted us to believe that they have come to reform Islam in the country. They would, if your hair is bushy, they will cut it and tell you to keep a beard, you know. So they were kind of promoting, in their view, pure Islam. But invariably, they reverted to cattle rustling, and in 2024, they became a full-blown terrorist group, killing our people. The other day, the Lakurawas killed immigration officers. They are known to have killed even customs men, you know. So that area, that Tangaza, is a place where the Lakurawas had their base, and it is also located close to some communities like Siname, Gudu, Lela. Sometimes they come to Benji, and they are very, very active in Kebbi State, in places like Augie, Arewa, some parts of Arugungu. So just the extreme end of Arugungu. They are also known to have killed people in Bagudu, in Kebbi State. So generally, many people are happy because these guys have made life difficult for our people in those areas. Although I will admit that Jabo is very peaceful. She has a border with Shagari local government, where banditry is very rampant. And then Tureta, as a forest that leads all the way to Briningwari, down Sadao, in Zamfara State. Remember, Jabo also shares a border with Gumi and Anka and Bukuyum in Zamfara. And these three local governments that Jabo shares a border with, there is rampant banditry. In fact, we are told that the terrorists who kidnapped those school girls in Maga in Kebbi State were taken to a forest in Zamfara State, probably down Sadao Forest. So you can understand why this attack had to happen. Many people say, oh, why Sokoto, the first instance? They forget that in at least 12 local government areas of Sokoto State, banditry is very rampant. So many people have lost their lives. Don't also forget that Sokoto State was where American troops had to come in, American paratroopers had to come in to rescue an American who was kidnapped, you know, and taken to part of Sokoto State. That was some years back. Don't also forget that Deborah, the young girl who was accused of blasphemy, was also killed in Sokoto State. So we need to understand why they deemed it fit to begin with Sokoto State. So Sokoto is just like Katsina State in terms of rampant banditry. Even Bello Tuji is known to have bases in parts of Sokoto State. Bello Tuji is from Shinkafi local government area of Zamfara State, but is very active in both Sokoto and Zamfara State, and he has bases in Sokoto State. So arguing that, oh, he shouldn't have started with Sokoto and all that, for me, is pure rubbish. The people, the attacking forces reserve the right to catch the enemy by surprise, and they reserve the right to start from wherever they deem fit.
Interesting stuff. A recent news, coming from the federal government when the president, met with the leadership of Christian Association of Nigeria. Let me just bring you here. He said that Nigeria has approached Turkey for assistance to strengthen our security capacity, especially around equipment and technical support. From your perspective, Bikio, what exactly does that kind of assistance mean, from Turkey? What does it mean in practical terms? How does it change Nigeria's current security strategy, especially with their collaboration with the United States?
No, it doesn't change anything. Sometimes when you want the grade A weapons from the Americans, you can wait for up to 4 years because they have other orders. I remember when India asked for Apache helicopters, which is seen as one of the best ground attack helicopters in the world. For about 4 or 5 years, the Indians were waiting. So we are in a desperate situation. If we continue to wait, the weapons are not going to come in good time. We can approach another country to see whether their own weapons can come faster than the weapons of the Americans. Nigeria also has that kind of relationship with Pakistan. The F-7 fighter jet was bought from Pakistan, and we are happy to have it inducted into our inventory of air platforms. So this is the thing. I'm sure that's just like a stopgap measure. We've also bought helicopters from Italy. We bought reconnaissance airplanes from Italy. So we are shopping everywhere across the globe to see where we can get the kind of weapons that can help us defeat the enemy. Let me quickly pick Biononogas call. Hello, sir. I'm on issues with Jide, sir. Yes, on issues with Jide. Okay. Okay. Okay.
It's quite interesting. You're making us understand the issues that are going on around the strikes. Let me take some comments. Bikio, are you with us now?
Yes.
Awesome. Amina Bello is saying that if the federal government invites Saudi Arabia or any Islamic bloc under the framing of saving Muslims, that immediately reframes Nigeria's security crisis from a national problem into a religious one. And that's extremely dangerous. Daniel Okoje is saying, he's a security analyst, saying security cooperation is normal, but once you brand it as Muslim countries coming to save Muslims, You are no longer fighting terrorism. Let me take other comments. We have Sadiq Lawal saying if the strikes really took out terrorist leaders and saved lives, then it's a positive development. What matters to people in the north is that attacks stop. If Naya Okore says any foreign military action on Nigerian soil should worry us, even if the intention is good, we must ask who authorized it and under what legal framework. Tunde Adebayo says it shows how weak Nigeria's security capacity still is, that foreign powers are the ones striking targets. Nelson Samuel, rather, is saying, I want to believe that armed forces of Nigeria has moved into that bombed area in Sokoto to do the needful. Those opposing the joint military action should go to court and stop rabble-rousing around. Abdulrahman Sulaiman says, is it Abdul Sulli from Mina? Maestro, happy Christmas to you. The place is called Yabo and not Jabo, which I heard you pronounce. Okay. At Lautel says, Mr. Jide, compliment of the season to you and all TVC workers. TVC staff, you should say. Congratulations on your new task. I wish you all the best. May God continue to protect and guide you. This person is asking question. Let me quickly take the question. I think I took it as a comment earlier. Some are concerned about they're saying that they're not against the fact that US has come to save Nigeria. I saw the question somewhere, but the question is, let me just quickly paraphrase, and that US now coming under the guise of coming to save Christians, whereas I've seen you in your, they've seen you in analysis that it is not only Christians that have been killed, Muslims, even non-believers have been killed. So what if Saudi Arabia or other Islamic bloc are now invited under the guise of saying that they want to come and save Muslim? Doesn't that, portray, doesn't that divide Nigeria along religious lines, which we are running away from? People are concerned about we want to come and save Christian, tag by the Americas, interference.
Oh, it's not the way this one is now. We are working together. People must bear that in mind. We are working together. This attack was not unilateral. President Tinubu gave directive, gave his permission for this to happen. So it's not, and I'm very, very happy that this, you cannot say, okay, they came to Sokoto to help Christians. You understand? If they exterminate the Lakurawas in that area, the greatest beneficiaries will be the Muslims, because they are an overwhelming majority in that place. And when people say, why not? The biggest crisis that we have that has to do with security is in northern Nigeria. So what are we talking about? When Chibok girls were taken away, it happened in northern Nigeria, but it was an embarrassment and a big shame to all of us. So the biggest security crisis that we have in our country is happening in northern Nigeria. So there should even be an urgency to deal with that problem in northern Nigeria. And if we defeat insecurity in northern Nigeria, the biggest beneficiaries will be Muslims, not Christians. Let's stop kidding ourselves and forget about this religious tag to this thing. This defeating Lakurawa in Sokoto, in Kebbi, and other places where they are present is necessary. And when it does happen, the greatest beneficiaries will not be Christians, because they are not in majority in that area. The biggest victims of banditry today are Northerners, and they are Muslim. We see bandits attack even mosque to kidnap people. They've even set mosques ablaze. Even during the holy month of Ramadan, they were still picking people. in northern Nigeria. They were still picking people. So the argument about Trump may be talking about that, but we know and we have said before that focus should be on the generality of Nigerians, not people from a particular religion. This insecurity that we face is a national shame, is a national concern. And when terrorists operate, they don't ask for your faith. They don't ask you whether you are a Muslim or not. When bandits operate the way they do, when they kidnap people, they don't set free those who are Christian or those who are Muslim. So as sensible Nigerians, we should be focused on how we will defeat insecurity, how we can encourage our government to defeat security and get into partnerships that can help us achieve that aim. When we achieve that aim, people will be able to travel freely on our highways. People will be able to go to their farms, without fear. Because those who attack these farms don't want to know whether you are a Muslim or you are a Christian. So we should not divide ourselves when it comes to security. We should not politicize security. We should not divide ourselves along religious lines when we are talking insecurity. If Nigeria is safer today, we all benefit, irrespective of our religious inclinations.
Great. I believe that answers that to for rather those who are really concerned about the framing and the danger it actually poses to our unity. You've actually done justice, to that, I believe. Let's change tack by looking at the other topic. The People's Democratic Party in Nigeria is in deep internal turbulence, with rival factions led by Wike and Makinde, clashing over legitimate leadership, convention outcomes, and control of party structures. Now, INEC has refused to recognize the Wike-backed factions letter due to the procedural non-compliance and cited court orders in rejecting rival national committee, working committee claims. Vicky, can you unpack the legal foundation of their position and where these might lead us?
Yeah, I feel for the PDP. I really feel for the PDP. Both Nyesom Wike and Makinde cannot call themselves good party men. I see Makinde talking the other day like he's the only good party man in Nigeria. But a party man that supports the presidential candidate of another party against that of his party, no matter the motivation, no matter what pushed you to take such an extreme action, cannot call himself a good party man. Yes, the manner in which Atiku emerged as the standard bearer of the PDP against the zoning agreement of the party was not good enough. It was also not good enough that Iyochiayu, who was the chairman of the party, refused to step down. Ideally, when the presidential candidate comes from the north, the chairman of the party should come from the south. It has always been like that in that party. But Ayu said he was not going to step down, and the matter went to court. It led to a crisis that divided the party. Ideally, with PDP having far more governors from southern Nigeria than the APC in the months leading to the presidential election of 2023, one would have expected that those governors will have been able to push hard to ensure that power shifted to the south, especially after a northerner, a Fulani from the northwest, had run Nigeria as president for 8 years. Ideally, power should have reverted to the south. But some politically greedy individuals in the PDP refused to let that happen They said it was article or nothing. Yes, that made some governors of the party, the G5, to be angry, and they worked against their party. And I'm saying that, morally speaking, working against your own party is unacceptable, no matter the situation. A good party man will stand by his party. So Seyi Makinde, governor of Oyo State, cannot claim that he's a good party man, given this antecedent, given that he refused to support the presidential candidate of his party, and instead supported Bola Ahmed Tinubu, presidential candidate of the APC. So we have to get that one clear. So if he's saying Wike is not a good party man, he's just as guilty as his on Wike. The only difference this time is that after both of them teamed up to enthrone the president and made sure that the president's party prevailed in the presidential election, enabling the APC to form government. After that, Makinde then became a real champion of the PDP, began to recoil back into his cocoon and continued to support his party. Wike, on his part, joined the Bola Ahmed Tinubu government, and he became a cabinet, a member of the cabinet, became a minister. So that is where the disagreement began. Both of them came together to work against their party to ensure that their party did not form government at the center. But after that election, things began to change, and Wike then joined the government and continued to support the president. For Makinde, he felt that he was badly treated by the president. The president didn't accept his ministerial nominee. The president chose someone else and all that. So being a party man, a good party man, should not be conditional, Ibrahim. It should not be conditional. If you're a good party man, good or bad, you will support your party. You sink and yes, you will swim and sink with your party, no matter the situation. And I've seen people who had been badly treated in the APC who remained in the party. I've seen people who had been badly treated in the PDP who remained in the party. So that's the way I think it should be. Now, things got worse when Makinde and the governor of Bauchi pushed aggressively to have a convention of the party. Unfortunately for them, once they decided that they were going to have that convention in Ibadan, they made up their minds that nothing will stop the convention, that it has to be in Ibadan. They were sued, 2 different cases, 2 different courts, telling them that they should not go ahead with the convention. But did they listen? They didn't listen. When a federal high court gives an order, ideally you should go to a superior court to vacate that order. That is the legal principle. But they didn't go to a superior court to have the order vacated. They went to a court of concurrent jurisdiction. That is the High Court in Ibadan. And the High Court in Ibadan does not have power over federal agencies. Just the same way that a federal High Court does not have power over chieftaincy matters. Those are deemed matters that should be handled by the state high courts. Now, INEC has said they are not going to recognize the convention that was held in Ibadan, where new party leaders emerged. They have said they will not accept the outcome of that convention, meaning that all of the people who emerged
Hello, BK, are you there? BK, are you there? Yeah, I'm afraid we lost connectivity with BK. Yeah, so we've been looking at the internal party struggles, within the PDP, the forth and back between the BK faction and that of the Makinde's faction. Recently, we are also getting information as regards what really transpired during the G5, collaboration, which supported President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC in the 2023 general election. And now 2027 is approaching the corner, is around the corner, and then we're beginning to get revelations as to how money changed hands, back in the day. Let's take some comments while we await
Can you
BK's
hear me,
rejoining
Ibrahim?
of the. Yeah, I can hear you. We
Yeah.
lost you momentarily.
Okay.
Could you wrap on your thoughts?
So now, right, in my view, because with courts ordering you not to conduct a convention, you didn't get organization, that means the order stands. And it means that whatever you did at that convention is a waste of time. Null and void and of no effect whatsoever. So that's the thing.
That's right.
So in my view, INEC is right. And in my view, Makinde and others should have listened to Bukola Saraki, who said, look, let's not have this convention at this time. Let's come up with maybe a caretaker committee, that will be able to run the affairs until we can properly reconcile aggrieved persons in the party and conduct a proper convention. That happened in the APC. They set up a caretaker committee and they were able to organize the party, and the party was led to victory in the election. So this is my view. Wike is planning a media chat for Monday where he intends to respond to some of the allegations that Makinde made against him, because Makinde accused him of saying that he was going to hold down the PDP for the president. And as far as Makinde is concerned, that kind of statement is meant to destroy the opposition parties in our country and ensure that the country reverts to a one-party state. A one-party system.
Yes.
So he said there was a meeting where the president was present, and where Wike made this decision to hold down the PDP for the president. And Wike is doing his best to destroy the PDP to enable the president get re-elected. He also said that the president told him that he should help him to organize the APC in Oyo State, but I told him no, he could not do it because it belongs to the rival party, which is the PDP. So one thing is clear. Both Wike and Amechi and Makinde have been hobnobbing with a rival party for some time. And if you are hobnobbing with a rival party, you cannot call yourself a good party man. You have to stay in your lane, stay with your party through thick and thin, through the difficult times. Stay with your
That's
party.
right.
That's the ideal thing.
That's right. Funke Adebola says this is why people are tired of politicians. While citizens are struggling, party leaders are fighting over positions. Shegun Olatunji says INEC did the right thing by insisting on due process. Political parties must follow their own rules. Musa Yakubu says these internal fights weaken the position and leave Nigerians with fewer strong political choices. And Chiamaka says young people want issue-based politics, not ego battles between powerful men. And we have Nelson saying that Nelson Wilfred saying, Babajide, you are one of the most objective journalists in Nigeria today, and generations to come will remember you for this. Daniel Oniye says, lot of Kalma playing on G5. Interesting. Pastor of Offering, okay, whatever you like. Jetty something saying Sheyi Makinde and others on his side knew what they were doing. It is to have legal backing at all cost of whatever they have done at Ibadan. Okay, so let me take this last question and then we close them because of our time. You know, with court cases underway and potential legal judgments to come, what do you consider the implications for PDP's readiness for 2027 primaries and general election? Uh, do you think legal uncertainty disqualify candidates or disrupts nomination timelines, especially with another direction which the interview Fayoshe granted on our channel was it last night? Making some allegations. I do not know. And then Wiki, as you said, will also be making some rebuttals on Monday. How do you think this will probably pan out for the PDP as fast as you can, Wiki?
I still think that the best thing they can do is to come together, put their differences aside, put a caretaker committee in place, which will organize an elective convention of the party. And time is not on their side because by the end of the first 6 months of next year, candidates of political parties should have emerged. So if they do not put their house in order, they won't be in position to bring candidates. And if they bring candidates, those candidates will be disqualified by the courts because they did not emerge from a proper convention of the party. They have to emerge from proper primaries conducted at ward, state, and national level. So a proper convention of the party, an elective convention of the party that would enable them fulfill all righteousness, meet the stipulations in the Electoral Act 2022, and then they can rightly go into an election. If they do not, if we are still following the 2022 Electoral Act, then they risk not being able to present candidates in the next general election if they do not put their house in order. And I can tell you it's because of this kind of crisis that people are leaving the party like a house on fire. Look at the Osun governor. He left the party for a Accord party, and he cited the crisis within the party, the division within the party, for the action that he has taken. Because INEC will not recognize either of those factions at this time, unless a court of law declares one of the factions authentic. And I doubt if that will happen, because they are not products of a properly conducted national convention. So the national chairman of the rival faction is not going to be recognized. The secretary or the weakest faction will not be recognized, except they are on the same page. So Damagum and Wike have to first be on the same pedestal. So we don't know how they are going to do that, but time is against them. If they are wise, they have to move quickly to put their house in order, so that, in fact, the elections in Osun and Ekiti, candidates in those elections, except they put their houses in order. Deciding that you are not going to listen to the courts, you are going to go ahead with an election, makes no sense. When a court of law, 2 courts of law have told you not to go ahead. The Sule Lamido went to court complaining that his rights were breached by the party by not allowing him to contest for the chairmanship of the party. And the court said, look, to ensure that his rights are protected, don't do that convention. Same thing with the Wike faction had gone to court earlier. So you should have set aside those orders of the court, rather than saying that whatever happens, we are going to do it. Whatever happens, you have done it, but does it have the force of law? The answer is
Absolutely.
Who was mandated by the party to unite all members, to be the chairman of their reconciliation committee. You gave a man a job to do, and you wouldn't allow him to do it.
That's right. Absolutely. Interesting stuff. We have Makinde Sanga saying
it's very predictable. The outcome of the court battle is very, very predictable. You can't build something on nothing. Right. You can't build something on nothing. That convention was a waste of time.
Absolutely, Absolutely. Makinde Sanga says, when did Makinde even start doing politics that is throwing his weight around? These baby politicians have. Well, you said that. It's not a matter of when you join, it's a matter of what power you can wield or how you can play your game. Rotimi Oguleye says, whether it's security or politics, Nigeria keeps relying on external fixes instead of building strong systems at home. Okay, well, that's about it on the show. We just need to call it a wrap. That's our show for today's edition of Issues with Jide. Special thanks to you, Baba Jide Kolade, to told you for those insightful analyses, as always.
Thank you, Brian. I enjoy the holiday.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for the kind gestures, always speaking. And thanks to you, to our audience, for keeping our company on every edition. You can see the program anytime again by subscribing to our YouTube channel, TVC News Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button to get the latest information. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at TVC News NG. I'm also at Ibrahim_Shita. On behalf of the rest of the team, I'm Ibrahim Shita. See you again next edition. Bye for now.